Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, how good is this? Come on, we're at the Gold Coast. Now you're talking. Can I have a hell yeah? Well, it's a bit ordinary. Do you want to have to go to Miami for one of these again? So well done to the promoters for putting this together. What I'm going to talk about today is absolutely critical. I'm going to talk about how Web3 is going mainstream, how crypto, NFT and metaverse is going mainstream, because the reality is, if it doesn't go mainstream, then we've got some problems. And this is what the problem looks like. So we love our crypto world, don't we? We think it's all fun, we're bouncing around, the market goes up, market goes down. But the reality is, if it doesn't go mainstream, then this happens. There you go. That's one of the finest movies ever made, by the way. So I heartily endorse it. Just what's happening is we need to understand what's happening with big corporates and what they're doing with crypto, NFT and metaverse, because they are buying opportunities and signals for the rest of us. So I'm just going to talk through a little bit about Web3 and the digital asset space. So crypto last year, $2 trillion. It's now half that, but a decent amount of money and enough to get enterprise interested. DeFi, 200 billion last year, running at about 98 billion of locked value this year. But still decent growth when you consider that happened over 2 years. That's starting to get enterprise. And my world, I advise big corporates on getting into Web3. So this sort of number is the sort of thing that gets them interested. NFTs. So zero in 2020. Last year, 41 billion. So that's 41 billion. There's very few asset classes that grew $41 billion from zero in 1 year. And that has really captured enterprise. Virtual land, $1 billion last year. Literally just buying metaverse land. And DBS, one of the big banks, just announced it's bought some land in Decentraland. It's happening everywhere. So what is Web3? Many of you understand this. Obviously, Web 1 we had, which was the read-only internet, sort of 95 to 2005. Then we had Web 2, which is where we are now, read and write to the internet. So we can order online, we can do our banking online, social media. And Web 3, the promise is we can read and we can write. We can also get rewarded for our behaviors online with tokens. But most importantly, we can own digital assets. We have not had a new asset class come onto the investment scheme for decades. So digital assets are a massive opportunity. And also, of course, Web3 means that everything will be in 3D. So the opportunity as Web 2 moves all of our interactions into a three-dimensional interface. So when I'm talking to enterprise about Web3, I give them that spiel and I say, so do you believe that all of those things are going to be worth zero in 5 years' time? Or do you believe that they're worth something? And if you believe that they're worth something, then you need to get involved now. And that's what we're seeing. It's early days, but big corporates are engaging. And oddly enough, and I've been flogging blockchain stories to big corporates for years, and they all came back with the same thing. Blockchain, sounds like a solution in search of a problem. And that's absolutely true. Blockchain take-up in the enterprise has been appalling. No one's interested in it. Until weirdly, NFTs came along. NFTs have been the beachhead into corporates for blockchain technology. And there's 4 types that I'll talk about today. There's obviously a bunch of different categories of NFTs. Going to focus on these 4 categories because that is where corporate Australia and the corporate world is interested. So digital collectibles, and you'll notice, so Starbucks made an announcement a couple of days ago that you could get digital collectibles from them now. So every enterprise is desperate not to use the term NFT. So if you are pitching to enterprise, do not be using the term NFT. What they want to hear is something about digital collectibles or that sort of wording, because NFTs has a Bored Ape kind of stigma that it's, was all part of this sort of wacky boom bust cycle. But collectibles, if you look at it, I mean, at its core, it's a business model that's been around for generations, trading cards. So, this is a Kobe Bryant trading card, like an old traditional cardboard trading card that's sold for 5.2 million US dollars. So, no one sort of goes, oh, well, that's stupid. Why would you pay for that? People just go, oh, well, that's a trading card. That has scarcity. And so what we are seeing now is that translating into the NFT space. And so the NBA, National Basketball Association in the US, got involved in Top Shots, which was effectively 2-second grabs of great basketball activity. And so they sold $700 million US of NFTs last year. Now, you think that didn't get every sporting organisation on the planet excited. So they are all involved. So the AFL just announced their NFT drop and they made $150,000, but it's a beachhead into a group of consumers who are already on chain that the AFL will then leverage up off. And one of the ways they might leverage is ticketing. So NFTs are fantastic for ticketing. Tickets for Coachella, the music festival this year, available by NFT. Fantastic. The problem, of course, with tickets is you've got counterfeiting. NFTs solve that problem, but also they give you the souvenir opportunity. So you've got your Coachella NFT. All of the tickets to the Super Bowl in the US were done by way of NFT. If you've got a business that in any way involved in ticketing, then NFT technology will be critical in the next year or two. Twinning NFTs. So these are Dolce & Gabbana suits, 9 suits. You got a suit, very fetching suit, which also came with a digital twin NFT. 9 suits sold for $6 million US dollars because of the digital twin nature of it. So digital twin also works in terms of provenance. So Louis Vuitton handbag makers, they are part of a big blockchain consortium that uses NFT technology to provide a digital twin of expensive handbags, but there's also a little sensor that's sewn into the lining of the handbag that allows you to track that handbag. So big opportunities in provenance. Alfa Romeo, first ever car this year, launched with an NFT logbook. Now, if you own an Alfa Romeo, you're probably going to need that service logbook more than most cars. But you can see how the opportunity is there. It exists digitally. We have moved on from a PDF, which sort of, where did I leave that PDF, to your NFT, which will be in your NFT wallet. There's Ethereum, which this is an Australian company. This is the real future of NFT technology, I think. What Ethereum do is they wrap NFT tech around your health data such that you then have control of your data. When you give over your data to finance companies, banks, whoever you're giving it to, you are trusting them to comply with the privacy policy. And their privacy policy is the thing that you ticked I agree to without having read. And you don't even know what's in that privacy policy, you haven't read it, and you just trust that they'll look after it. Well, NFT technology gives you the ability to dictate through the smart contract who is allowed to have access to your information, because we can finally own a digital asset. Such a massive change in our way of thinking. So gaming, some great gaming companies here at at this conference, but gaming is remarkable. So we've got with Axie Infinity, the play to earn, the world's first metaverse workers. And you've got then with gaming guilds, so a very traditional banking model, and these gaming guilds have really caught investment banking attention. So the idea is that if you're in the Philippines and you want to start gaming and playing to earn using Axie Infinity, but you can't afford the $2,000 that it takes to effectively start up and be competitive, the gaming guild will effectively give you the avatars that you need and the NFTs that you need, the skins that you need to start making money, and then split the proceeds 50-50. So it's a very traditional rent-seeking banking style model. And that's where I think the future business models of digital assets are really occurring in the gaming space. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my digital horse. So for those of you that haven't seen Zedrun, which is an amazing Australian company, this is No Half Measures. No Half Measures has not been a tremendously successful horse, I've got to say, and could be on its way to the digital glue factory. But I've got to say, the Zedrun folks, it is an amazing experience. What they've created, it's play to earn, a great Australian business, got global prominence, and joining together with folks like Stella Artois, who are sponsoring races and so forth in the metaverse. The metaverse does exist right now, and it's in games like this. So the big start the big sort of movement from corporates has been NFTs. So there's over 200 big companies around the world who have minted NFTs, and you can see a few of them there. There are hundreds of them. And they are doing it, the first and most easy to understand is this concept of phygital. Now that's not an easy word to say, but the concept of bringing together the digital and the physical. And people really, the way I explain this to people who don't understand the NFT world, this is the easiest model to understand. So Penfolds have premium wine, as we know, Grange and so forth, but the biggest market for premium wine is in fact gifting. Now, they're not the sort of friends I have because I'm not getting a lot of Grange coming through the door, but apparently gifting is a big market. But it's very difficult to gift a bottle of wine, it's very fragile. So what they've created is an NFT of that particular bottle of wine. So that's very easy to gift. And that's been tremendously successful. And if you want to know more about that, I do a podcast called Web3 Goes Mainstream, and I talk to the global head of marketing at Penfolds about her experience doing that. Nike. So Nike announced recently that they made $185 million US selling NFTs. Is that a reasonable number? Is that a number that gets people's interest going? For sure. Tiffany, you may have seen, did a collaboration with CryptoPunks, and if you paid $50,000 for a Tiffany CryptoPunk NFT, you then got this particular item. So it's probably not for everyone, but interesting to see a traditional brand jumping into it. One of the most exciting things from a marketing point of view about NFTs comes with this idea of everyone's NFT wallet. So your NFT or your crypto wallet, I believe, will be the equivalent of your social passport. It'll be as important to you as your Instagram account. It will say things about you because of the NFTs that are available in it. And marketers know this is the big opportunity. So if you look at Clinique, Clinique did an airdrop to all of this particular makeup, like digital makeup, to all of the holders of a particular NFT project called Non-Fungible Humans, which were NFTs with non-traditional sort of humans in there. So people who might have had vitiligo or some sort of disability, just NFTs of those. So non-fungible humans. Clinique airdropped directly to those people directly into their wallet. So you think about what that opportunity is there for marketers. Direct marketing sort of come to a bit of a halt thanks to lawyers like me, I guess. But it's very difficult to do direct marketing. You've got to have opt-in and so forth. In this new world of NFTs, we could go on right now and we could look at Justin Bieber's wallet and we could see his NFTs. We could look at virtually all of your NFTs if we could track down how to get them. But that is, if there's one thing you take away from today, the NFT wallet, if you're in marketing, that is a big place to focus on, and the data opportunities there are extraordinary. We're seeing NFTs being given out to employees. So this is SAP, the big technology company. So they gave out an NFT as congratulations to a particular group of people who engaged with that. I did what I think is one of Australia's first employee token option plans, which is where employees of this particular company receive tokens rather than shares. And I got to say, they were more excited about the ETOP as it is than they were about the ESOP, because when you get tokens, when they vest, you can trade those immediately. Whereas if you're getting share options, when they vest, you've got to wait until the company is sold before you can monetize those. And philanthropy. So who doesn't love Australia's first family from Australia Zoo? So the Irwins launched an NFT project in order to help a number of the philanthropic endeavours that they've got. That was a tremendous sale. And once again, on the podcast, you can hear the story of the Australia Zoo NFT drop. But if you're involved in philanthropy, absolutely, NFTs are a big opportunity. So crypto, digital currencies. Digital currencies are coming. Reserve Bank announced a central bank digital currency pilot, and that they join 19 of the 20 G20 nations are doing digital currency pilots. So digital currencies will come, and then stable coins. We heard a little bit about it in the last one. So ANZ, JP Morgan and Novartis have all done stable coins. And once again, I interview those three companies on the podcast. In terms of accepting crypto payments, all of these companies accept crypto payments. And this is OTR. This is a convenience store chain available in service stations. So they just did a big rollout saying that they are accepting crypto. One of the problems with crypto, it's a massive overhang on using crypto to pay for things, is the minute you buy a coffee using crypto, then you've triggered a capital gains event for you. So very difficult. I see that's a big problem. In the US, they're looking at having some sort of threshold on the capital gain event issue of like $100 so that people can use crypto for transactions. But until we solve that, I see a big overhang on it. Crypto on the balance sheet. So we obviously heard from Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy. He's like the poster child for holding crypto on the balance sheet. But also that other incredibly risk-taking organisation, KPMG. So they bought a bunch of ETH and Bitcoin to hold on their balance sheet as well as an NFT. And I interviewed the managing partner of KPMG once again on the podcast. Fascinating to hear that. It's a list of companies that have invested in blockchain. You'll notice they are all largely financial services companies. So DeFi and tokenized assets. So DeFi has taken a little bit of a hit. It's had a bit of a Terra Luna problem there. So we recognise that that's got some issues, but there's no doubt that traditional finance, TradFi, is seeing opportunities with DeFi. And that's why ANZ had the stable coin. But this was fascinating to me. This MakerDAO $100 million loan to Huntington Valley Bank marks the first time ever that a crypto or a DeFi play has lent money to a traditional finance company. So that merger is going to happen. This is LoanSnap. So in the US, for those of you that hold significant crypto assets, you'll know that the bank is not interested in valuing those if you want to take out a mortgage. That is of zero value to them. Whereas LoanSnap in the US allows people to take out crypto mortgages, and that is on the Bacon protocol. I think I'm no marketing genius, but it would seem to be odd to have a name that immediately sort of puts you on the outer with both Jews and Muslims, but the Bacon protocol is where that is right at the moment. So Beta Carbon, Guy Dickinson, who was speaking over there just before, great business, Beta Carbon. Here is the opportunity for tokenization, where you find an asset class that you can't invest in any other way. So we can all invest in unit trusts or property in one way or another. But how many of you own carbon credits? No one. And that's because only 55 entities in Australia can actually trade carbon credits because it's so complicated. That is until Beta Carbon came along. And so that is tokenized carbon credits. So here is the massive opportunity for tokenizing assets. Find an asset class that it's hard to buy into, and that will be a good business. So the metaverse. Let me tell you about the metaverse. Second Life. 10 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, I was an expert in the legal issues associated with Second Life. And I was asked by a client to come and speak at the opening of their island, like an e-commerce play in Second Life. And so I dutifully turned up on the day, and I'm not a gamer, so I wasn't very good with the technology, and I arrived into an auditorium, probably triple the size of this. Would have been 200 avatars in this Second Life auditorium. And I decided I'd better make my avatar sort of look like they're in control. And there was a chair in the middle of the stage. And I hit the sit down command to make my avatar sit down on the chair. Instead of sitting down on the chair, he lay down underneath the chair. I'm like, oh, that's no good. So I hit the stand up command. Now here was a flaw in Second Life. Instead of standing up, my avatar hit his head on the underside of the chair. And the more that I pressed the stand-up command, the more that my poor little avatar had a fit underneath the chair. And there's like 300 other avatars all staring at my avatar having a fit. And that was a very humiliating moment indeed. But nowhere near as humiliating as spending the next 30 minutes delivering a speech while stuck under the presentation chair. But I'm a very, very positive person, and I got out of that. I logged out. I took off my headset, and I'm like, you know what? I'll get over this. This will be fine. And then moments later, a friend of mine sent me this screenshot of me stuck under a chair, talking about the opportunities and risks in Second Life. I think I made the risks pretty evident. So I've spent a bit of time around the metaverse space, but it has changed now. And largely, I think it's changed because of gaming. I know that, there's the metaverse purists who are like, gaming's not metaverse. Well, it is, I think. And if you look at Fortnite, unbelievable. Was it Travis Barker, Travis Davis, Travis Barker, the rapper. So he did a concert on Fortnite, had 12.4 million concurrent views. It's been viewed 130 million times on YouTube. MTV had an award this year for Best Metaverse Performance Award. So this stuff is happening. It might not be sort of in the 40-plus age demographic, but metaverse is absolutely happening. Once again, gaming is where it's happening, Roblox. Look at the numbers there. These are the numbers of people who have been to these shops, these brand shops in Roblox. Look at those numbers. 79 million people have been to the Vans experience on Roblox. Keep an eye out too, Chief Metaverse Officers. There's currently 63 on LinkedIn. Disney has a Chief Metaverse Officer. We're going to start seeing that really expand. And then, influencers. This is Michaela. So she is a digital influencer. She was recently, the company that created her, the investment value of her was 100 million US pounds, but she's done a whole range of projects for a whole variety of people, including for Balenciaga. And I do like that. She looks very sad at how big that shoe is. It clearly won't fit. But, that's where the world is headed with metaverse and the digitization of influence. Zara had a big launch of a digital-only clothing line. McDonald's is very concerned that you should be able to eat whilst cruising the metaverse, so they have lodged a bunch of patents which will allow you to be on the metaverse, go into a McDonald's, order it, and it arrives at your apartment. So you never have to get up and go and get McDonald's. So not sure that's good for the world, but it's good for McDonald's. So JP Morgan, they have an office in the metaverse. That's theirs, and it's the weirdest experience, I got to say. You go around, and there's a tiger just wandering the floor, which maybe says something about the experience with investment bankers. This I love. So this is the world's first metaverse hospital in the UAE, and this is a digital twin of a real-life hospital that makes a lot of money out of medical tourism. And so what you do is you get to go and check it out before you actually go there, and you actually engage with your doctors inside this metaverse experience. Metaversities, there's more than 15 US universities who have full-on metaverse experience for education. Augmented reality, all of these companies are using augmented reality for training. And this was a great milestone. So if you've tried VR goggles, you'll know they're not very comfortable. So this was the world's first fully working contact lens, which actually takes you into the metaverse. In terms of the opportunities, I think there are a tremendous amount of opportunities for big organisations. And what I'm saying to enterprises is you don't have to be the JP Morgan. You don't have to go and create a flash environment. There are plenty of opportunities in infrastructure, integration, what's happening with digital assets and currencies, tokenizations, data management, security. And so for those of you perhaps with your investment hats on, looking at organisations that might be more in the infrastructure play, that could be a great thing. So with that, there is a QR code which will take you to my website. I think the link is broken, unfortunately, but you get onto my website and then go to podcasts. And there's also 2 free books that I have written, which you are very welcome to have. And then if I could just ask for one thing, could I just have a little selfie, because this is pretty exciting to bring all of the crypto believers. It's nice to be in a crowd where you don't have to apologise for crypto or act sheepish about owning some. So could I just have a big look as to how will everyone feel when Bitcoin is back over 50,000? Great. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is my time.